At some point in time or another, most of us have been obsessed with looking at our credit score. Thanks to Credit Karma or monthly score tracking courtesy of our credit cards, keeping tabs on our credit scores is easier than ever. And while I do think knowing your credit score at all times is beneficial, I don't think it's as important as people make it out to be. In today's episode, I'm sharing why you shouldn't focus too much on your credit score number, but instead focus on the things that really matter when it comes to your credit. Welcome to the City Girl Savings Podcast. I'm Rhea Reeves, founder and finance coach of City Girl Savings. I turned my life around with budgeting many years ago, and now I'm on a mission to help others do the same. I fully believe that you can enjoy your life on a budget, and this weekly show will focus on the intersection of money and the city girl lifestyle. Join me every week along with some special guests as I share my experiences, advice, and guidance on navigating life and money as an experience-loving millennial. For those of you who may be new to credit scores, here's a quick breakdown. Your credit score is a number that represents your credit worthiness, and it's made up of the following categories: payment history, amounts owed, length of credit history, new credit accounts open, and types of credit. The information that goes into your credit score is reported on your credit report with each of the three credit bureaus: Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. Lenders report information about your ability to handle the debt you borrow from them, and lenders report when you attempt to get credit with them, whether you're denied or approved. And just a quick FYI, every consumer is entitled to one free credit report pull from each of the three bureaus every year. Go to www.annualcreditreport.com to pull yours. And finally, the better your credit score, the more creditworthy you are. And the more creditworthy you are, the more likely you can get approved for borrowing at very low rates. So essentially borrowing money at a lower cost, which will save you money over time. Now, knowing all of that, it makes sense why you would want to focus on the number of your credit score. But instead, I want you to remember these things. First, there are a variety of credit scores. Have you ever wondered why your score varies depending on where you pull it? That's because there are nearly 30 different formulas that can be used to calculate your credit score. So what does this mean to you? Well, there really isn't one set score you can constantly bank on. So don't focus so much on the number, but instead focus on how you can always get that number better. The next thing I want you to remember is what's on your credit report is more important than your credit score. Your credit score is an indication of what's on your credit report. And if you don't like the score you have, go directly to the source. Review your credit reports and determine what could be impacting your score. If you have late payments, collection accounts, or just too much debt, your score could be hurting as a result. Now, if there are any inaccuracies on your credit report, so something that shouldn't be there or that isn't correct, you should prioritize getting those things removed or updated. While it does take some time, it's something that anyone can pursue on their own. Another thing I want you to remember is that delays are common when calculating your credit scores. So, did you know that late payments are only reported to the credit bureaus when the payment is 30 days past due? That means there will be a lag between your late payment and when it hits the credit report, ultimately delaying your credit score update. Now, you may receive a fee for paying even a day late, but as long as you make that payment before 30 days past due, it will not impact your credit report or your credit score. Now, these same delays apply for any payments you make, any payoffs you do, and new credit inquiries. All credit activity is not instantly updated on your score, and because the activity isn't instantly updated on your credit report, it's not going to be instantly updated in your score. Companies like Credit Karma, FICO, and more may be able to give you an idea of what your score could be, but until it actually hits your credit report, you'll never know for sure. Now, another thing I want you to remember, and this is probably the biggest takeaway you can take away from this episode. The best thing you can do for your credit score is pay all of your credit cards down to 0. Now, as I mentioned before, if you don't like your credit score, fix what's on your credit report. If you don't have any late payments, just a lot of debt, then the best thing you can do for your score is pay off all of your balances down to 0. I know that the 30% usage is a common target, but that's only particularly effective after you've paid off all your debt and you're starting to get back into leveraging credit. If you're constantly carrying balances closer to the 50% or more utilization mark, pay everything down to 0 and then start using your cards again. But until then, focus on getting the balances down to 0. I guarantee this will have a huge impact on your score. Are you tired of wondering which moves to make next with your money? Do you need some guidance on whether to pay off debt, save, or focus on something else? Get my free Money Moves packet today and start making impactful money moves instantly. Go to citygirlsavings.com/moves to download your Money Moves packet now. So my credit score has been above 800 for years. Trust me, I know a thing or two about this. And I'm telling you, when I paid all my credit cards down to 0, that's when I saw the biggest spike in my score. So if you want to see a spike in your credit score, pay all of your credit cards down to 0. From there, make sure you have your credit report time, or you give your credit report time to accurately reflect the 0 balances. Okay, so remember, there are usually delays when you pay things off, so give your credit report time to reflect those payments. Once that happens, you will see your credit score go up drastically. I've experienced this multiple times because I've been in and out of debt multiple times. Another thing I want you to remember is cash beats credit any day. It may seem cool to have a high credit score, but the reality is this. The ability to pay cash for anything you want without using credit is so much cooler than a high credit score. Don't get so fixated on a high credit score that you lose sight of the ultimate rule: cash is king. The ability to not need or take out debt undoubtedly beats taking it out. However, if you do need to take out debt for a car or a mortgage, then having a high credit score can definitely work to your advantage. Remember, the higher your score, the more creditworthy you are. And the more creditworthy you are, the less you'll be charged in interest, ultimately saving you more money. And the final thing I want you to remember when tracking your credit score is this. Sometimes your score must go down to go up. Because of delays, because of multiple scoring calculations and multiple scores, sometimes you may think your score should be going up and then it does the opposite. Do not worry. Know that it will correct itself with time. A watch pot never boils. It's okay to track your score and stay on top of it, but don't let monitoring it cause you anxiety or worry. I promise you, it's not worth it. Do the right things with your debt, like always paying on time, paying down your balances, and you'll see the positive impacts to your score. Now, remember, these impacts may not be instant, but I promise you they will come. If you can keep these things in mind when tracking your credit score, you will be better off for it, and you'll be a lot less anxiety-prone and stress-filled as you're working your way to improve your score. Remember, don't focus so much on your credit score number that you forget about what's important. Give it time and your score will be where you want it to be. Now, remember, the things that go into your actual credit score are payment history. So, do you pay on time all the time? Amounts owed. So, are you keeping your balances low or 0? The length of credit history, which you can't really do much about, except avoid closing credit accounts. When you close your cards or you close credit accounts, the history of that account stops reporting instantly. So length of credit history, the longer you have credit history, the better your score will be. So try to avoid closing accounts if you can. New credit accounts opened also goes into your credit score. You don't want to open too many credit accounts at one time because it shows lenders and the credit bureaus that you are actively seeking credit and you can't pay for things on your own. You need credit to do that. So it will negatively impact your score. And then finally, types of credit. Different types of credit like car loans, credit cards, mortgages, all play a role in your credit score. Lenders like to see that you can handle different types of credit. So don't take credit out just because, but as your life progresses and you need different types of credit, keep in mind that that will help you in the long run. At the end of the day, doing the right things with your money will result in a better credit score. Thank you so much for tuning into City Girl Savings today. I hope you feel empowered and inspired to master your money as you make your way to your dream life. Make sure you subscribe so you're the first to know when a new episode comes out. I truly value your thoughts and feedback, so please leave a review and let me know how this podcast has impacted you. Can't wait to chat soon and make it a great day.